It's 5:30.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hi.
Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
This is Sannia Hussain. I welcome you all, the participants and our alumni, to the 18th Alumni Connect 2026. We have with us wonderful alumni who are, two of them are from the weekend track 2025, class of 2025, and then one of them is the class of 2024. So you guys will get the benefit of getting a very diverse perspective from all of them, working professionals. And before we begin, let me introduce Miss Ayesha Khan, Roma Alee, and Maaz Minhas. Ayesha is the class of 2024, and Roma and Maaz are class of 2025. Hello, everyone. I welcome you all on board to the Alumni Connect. And I would ask you to kindly introduce yourselves and tell us about your professional journey thus far. So, Ayesha, can we begin with you?
Sure, of course. Thank you, Dr. Sannia. I graduated from the weekend program in 2024. I'm currently looking after internal and external communications at the Suleiman Daud School of Business at LUMS. I am also teaching at the School of Education at LUMS as adjunct faculty. I teach an undergraduate elective. This is my professional journey, and I have two teenagers. That figures in quite significantly in my professional journey as well. Moving on, we'll talk more about my experience at SOE.
Thank you, Ayesha. Coming to you, Roma, would you like to tell us about what you're doing currently?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Ms. Sannia. First of all, before I begin, it's an honor to have a session with you, of course, hosting us, as well as everyone who's a part of this session. You've been an excellent mentor and an instructor for academic writing, and I mean, I still can't forget how much it helped us during our research work and our practicum sessions. So I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Roma, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm currently the PYP coordinator. I'm serving as the PYP coordinator for LGS Defense Phase 1. I work for Dr. Neelam Hussain, who's the director for LGS Defense, and I look after preschool to A levels for Lahore Grammar School. And I've also served as the former principal for O-level girls, which was LGS Defense Phase 5 campus. So my role involves leading the curriculum planning, assessment practices, teacher development, ensuring program coherence in line with the IB philosophy and standards. And as far as my role is concerned, it's just not related to academics. I lead the clusters across Pakistan. LGS follows a centralized system for its planning and implementation, which is basically a centralized system. Whatever is happening in Lahore or for the province of Punjab, it is basically implemented across different cities and provinces in Pakistan, like Gujarat, Pindi, Islamabad, Quetta, Karachi. So it's basically a collaboration with the central academic team and the external partners as well. So it's a lot of things like observing, auditing, mentoring, conducting workshops, training the teachers, as well as the other administrative processes.
So, Roma, just before you end, can you tell the participants, if they might not know about the PYP program, what exactly does PYP stand for?
Sure. So PYP is basically a primary years program, and those of you who might be opting for education for sustainable development, which was Dr. Tayyiba's course, I'm not sure if she's offering that. It really aligns with the IB philosophy. A PYP is basically a part of an international baccalaureate program, and it's all about an ideology which is central to learner-centered teaching and learning. It's about the learning community. It's about those practices concentrating on research work, inquiry-based learning, and concentrating and focusing upon certain approaches to learning, like research skills, building upon self-management skills, your inquiry skills, your critical thinking skills. So it's all about that. And then we have some pertinent elements of IBPYP, which is basically about inculcating that IB learner profile among the students, which are basically 10 knowledgeable risk takers, principled, open-minded, and so on and so forth. So it's basically a research intensive, rigorous academic program which runs parallel to the matriculation and Cambridge.
Thank you, Roma. Thank you very much. Maaz, now may I ask you to introduce yourself and let us know what you're doing right now?
Absolutely. Assalamu alaikum. I'm currently working as a principal at Farooqi Grammar School, one of its branches that's located at Edward Road, Lahore. It is near Jan Mandir or Chowk Chuburji, as many of you might know. It's a little bit about the school. It's a local school. I mean, the fee we charge, it's under 4,000. Inshallah, next year we'll be celebrating our 50th anniversary and of the school, and we're known for doing really well in the Lahore Board matriculation examinations as well.
So, Maaz, what do you think makes you do well?
What makes me do well? Well,
as the school.
Yeah. It's honestly, it's the absolute commitment to this role. I think when I first came into this role, it was actually 6 years ago. And the whole legacy that I had to follow, my grandparents had established it. We are actually the most successful school when it comes to getting positions in Lahore Board. But with that, there is always that endless drive that pushes us to do more, to do better, to keep competed with schools who maybe charge fee much more than us. And that means that as leaders ourselves, we have to be really well equipped to look after everything at the school. This is actually one of the reasons that I joined the LUMS MPhil education program as well. And this program has helped me.
We'll come to that, Maaz. We'll come to that.
Yeah. Okay.
As we progress, because that is one of my major questions that I want you to link.
Absolutely.
To
Absolutely.
degree.
Sure.
Right. Thank you for that. Ayesha, you mentioned that you're at SDSB, and there's a lot of communication that you need to take care of.
Yes, I'm taking care of all internal and external communication for the business school, as well as a bit of the case research unit.
Mm-hmm. So in what ways would you say that this MPhil in educational leadership and management has helped you get where you are today?
Absolutely. The MPhil, so I would like to say my perspective is of a non-traditional adult learner coming back to school after a gap of maybe 15 years. And that just changes a lot of how I approached the program, how the program impacted me. So the MPhil experience was literally, it rewired my brain. And I quite literally have to say it was transformational, because coming back to school after such a long gap, it really opened up my mind, and I absorbed everything that was being taught.
So how easy or how difficult was it?
It was.
Because you're on weekend track. You
is.
already were working, and all of you actually. And you've got your family commitments, you've got your work commitments, and it was an intensive program.
It is.
So how easy or how difficult was it? Or do you think it eased as it progressed?
It was I mean, of course it was challenging. We had to, I think in the first semester, all of us weekend students can say that we had to really work hard to set up a system, a routine with our offices, respective offices, within our households. But once that got done, I found it to be very invigorating, along with the challenge, and very energizing. It really was transformational because if I now when I'm back, I mean, when I'm working, I can feel the difference in how I multitask. My multitasking has improved significantly because I multitask with academics, how I manage my work. So besides, of course, we studied the theory and there was a lot of knowledge, but it's practical application of just doing a weekend program and its impact on my work and how I'm managing the work and how I'm interacting with my team. It just took it to another level. I mean, I found the program to be transformational for me, for my mindset. And I can easily say that it's made me into a lifelong learner.
And do you think when you look back at the time before you started this MPhil and you were already working, so do you feel there's a difference in your practice, professional practice now?
Yes, I mean, I question my assumptions. I definitely, in terms of leadership, I feel that the way I manage my team. I mean, we had a leadership core. It is an educational leadership and management program, so leadership is a big component of the program. The way I'm managing my team, the way I manage my interaction, my communication with all the stakeholders. And also, I have to say that I'm now more aware of my interactions when I interact with the students. My interest was heavily on belonging, on student experience. So over here at the business school, I'm interacting with undergraduate students, graduate students, weekend students. So I'm very cognizant now of their experiences, and that I owe to school. And now that I'm also teaching, that also is an added a growth for me. Of course, I was very privileged to get the chance to apply and then be able to teach at the School of Education.
Thank you, Ayesha. Now that we're talking about leadership, I'll come directly to you, Maaz, because you are right now in an educational leadership role as principal of the school where you're working. So, how would your experience of the MPhil, Educational Leadership and Management, how do you think that has helped enhance, develop, or improve your practice?
You know, I own the school as well, and there is a problem with. I think there is this one thing that you sort of miss out when you're sort of head of the chain, when you're sort of leading a place, and that is external criticism, I guess, or feedback that really pushes yourself. And I think it can be a place where one can feel isolated from new ideas coming in, and from being criticized, from self-reflection as well. I think it is possible for one in a leadership role to feel these things. I felt them to a certain extent. And I think coming into this role, it sort of opened me to a really big world. I think I had, the peers that I studied with, they came from many different backgrounds. They had absolutely they were working at some great places, very different places. It was a very diverse cohort. They had their own ideas that really shaped me as a learner, as a leader as well. It introduced me to many different ideas. I think when it came to studying at the school as well, with the sort of courses that were offered, the sort of different courses that were offered, the sort of literature that we were exposed to, the sort of educational philosophies from all over the world that we were exposed to. I think, again, that sort of really opened up my mind to many different ideas that I felt would not have been possible if I just limited myself to this role. And so I think these are great positives. These are many, many ways in which I feel that the degree gave me a sort of an impetus to really push myself, to really find ways to be a better leader, to introduce, things in my school that otherwise I would not have really thought of. I mean, Roma here talked about her IB background. It's you learn a lot from your peers as well when you're studying a this degree. And lots of my peers were working in IB setups. And to be very honest, I did not know much about this education system and its philosophies. And for all its, I guess, criticisms as well, there are absolutely brilliant things that it does as well. And my own school, it's a low-cost school. We follow the metric examination system. And you can say that the IB program and the metric system, they're sort of two different worlds. But again, by coming to this degree and by being exposed to different educational philosophies, people who are working in different places, fantastic faculty that has lots of experience and lots of things to advise us on and guide us on, I think that really opened me up to different ideas that, and not just, I mean, if I'm talking about different ideas, I wouldn't like to limit those ideas to just educational philosophies. I guess I'd include managing my staff. I'd include how teachers view things. It taught me a lot about how to see from the perspective of my own staff as well. And so I think there are many ways in which this degree helped me to better lead my school. I hope that helps answer your question to some extent.
Thank you. Thank you, Maaz. So from what Ayesha has said and from what you say, so the key, apart from all the help that you received from your peers and the support from Kerry, and then the practical implications, everything put together, two things that both of you mentioned at the same time, one thing actually, is that empathy that you developed, where you, Ayesha empathized with the students who are currently enrolled in different programs, and you talked about the empathy of the teachers, empathizing with teachers where they're coming from. So I think that's a great thing that social interaction has provided through this ELM, because both of you have mentioned the same thing in different realms. So Roma, coming to you, you've talked about something slightly different, and I'm going to ask you to answer the question from that perspective. You talked about the IB program being research-based, and then you're directly involved with teachers and teaching. So in that realm, in that area, how did this MPhil program feed into your practice?
Thank you for asking, Ms. Sannia. So I'd like to start with the fact that when I started off applying to the MPhil program, it was just a career upgradation. It was not something that I really wanted to. I mean, it was something, yes, I did have ambitions and I did have goals. I'm very ambitious, but it started as if I just needed to upgrade myself with the field I was in. But slowly and gradually, when I enrolled myself, and so it wasn't about just attending the classes and, studying about the research papers that we had, that we were assigned. It was about the whole collateral ecosystem that developed while this, during this entire 2-year degree program. It wasn't just interacting with a diverse cohort, because Maaz is from my cohort. It was also with the seniors. Ms. Ayesha belongs to our senior cohort. Iske alawa, it wasn't just that we were constantly interacting with people from different schools. It was just not the SOE, it was the law, it was the business, it was SSA, it was MGHSS. And then the different opportunities that we got throughout the program to be teaching assistants to our instructors, being research assistants to our instructors, being involved in different programs. I remember when I got the opportunity to be a part of being the Olympiad head for one of the NGOs of our alumni, Vakas Heather. And while he was studying in one of the universities doing his master's, I was, making a difference in being involved with how we would work with underprivileged communities. So, I mean, this program was not just, that I wanted to do something with, which would help me in my career, but it opened the doors to a wide variety of stuff. And how we got in touch with the alumni who were, taking their PhD courses abroad in the universities. So we got in touch with them. I intend to do my PhD in, education policy. So this is how we developed relationships with each other. This is how we went from, months to days and then so on and so forth. So, Ms. Sannia, I would say that, yes, coming from the fact that I am directly working with the teachers, as my director says, that you cannot be an administrator unless and until you teach and you're a teacher. So, coming from that point of view, and then, studying with my colleagues, my batchmates, who was, maybe coming from working in a bank, or one of them was involved in teaching in a good university. One of them was, yes, they were at good designations in different schools, but then itna diverse हमारा cohort था कि हमें सबसे सीखने को मिला. So this was something that was wonderful about this program. And yes, I would say that after this program, before this program, I was working in a school, and after this program, I exactly knew how to work on schools, how to work on the systems which need improvement. I would like to refer to my courses over here in interdisciplinary theoretical perspectives in education, which we took from Dr. Tayyiba. That gave us an insight on what is it like working on schools and working on different paradigms जो कि आपके IB के उस 5 या 10% bubble में से नहीं है. One of my we used to get reality checks. One of my colleagues from NOP program, he used to say that IB is just 10% of the entire education system in Pakistan. What are you talking about?
Probably
And then,
less. Probably
exactly.
less.
And then, yes, then we came to know, okay, then while we were doing research methods, observing schools and school effectiveness and development with Dr. Jessica, we got to work in schools which were low cost and middle cost schools. And that is how we stepped into different school systems. And we got to know, okay, so this is basically what are the gaps that need to be identified. And that is how we are going to move forwards. And then, of course, working in primary schools, researching on different agendas of our provincial education system, the different marakas and the different tehsils during our practicum. When I knew that, in the morning I have to get up at 5 o'clock. I have to make sure, because I'm a professional, I have to report to my school at 7 in the morning. And then, coming back late at night, sorry, not late at night, let's say 5 o'clock, because my office timings are 5 o'clock. And then, rushing back and then working on the different assignments. And then, we had those group meetings in which we used to sit sometimes at, midnight at 2 o'clock as well, going to LUMS and then coming back from LUMS and then managing our household and the family and the kids and everything. And then, of course, we had weekend classes. We had to make sure that whatever work we were given by our instructors, the papers that we had to read, and the different quizzes that we had to give.
Basically, all responsibilities together. So that talks about the same thing that Ayesha mentioned, multitasking at the same time. Absolutely. And managing everything.
Absolutely.
Right.
And then, of course, not giving up, that resilience, that, just not giving up on
that dedication and commitment.
The excellence.
Great.
Yes.
So you talked about something very important that leads us to the next question, which is the educational landscape in Pakistan and the real educational real world challenges. Now, your practicum gave you the opportunity to be firmly entrenched in the real world of the educational challenges in Pakistan. So how did that affect your thought process? And Ayesha, coming back to you, the word that you use, mindset. What kind of experiences did that provide, and how did that help you grow professionally? The practicum experience, where you were firmly entrenched in the real world problems.
Sure. I think that so I mean, it's in the audience, if we have, so the experience, I think, of the weekend batch would be a little different from the regular batch for sure, because all of us at the weekend batch were already working. And we had some sort of exposure to problems already. But the practicum experience was obviously it was fantastic, because it took us through the whole sort of discovery of the problem, connecting with the organization, linking research into it, then going back to the organization. This back and forth was very helpful, and it was wonderful. It really showed us. I mean, just like any other, there are many words for it in education. We can call it experiential learning. When you're actually, involved in the learning process, and there's this constant sort of, uh, uh, you know, what disequilibrium is a good thing, between the organization, between us, between the faculty member who's the supervisor. So all of that is happening at the same time, and we're trying to find a solution. So it was we really enjoyed it. One of the things that did stand out, and I have to say, with the practicum, which I think is beneficial in terms of its impact in our professional lives, is stakeholder management. That plays a key role in the practicum, because you have the organization who are our stakeholders. We have to manage their expectations. Then we have our own, these are also our own grades. We have to take care of those. Then it's also the faculty members and the criteria that they have set for the practicum. And also the peers. It's a group project. So we're also working with the peers. So I felt that this management that we had to do, the stakeholder management, this sort of group work, this sort of management of expectations, that I think has permeated into my life after the practicum as well. I mean, when the practicum was done and dusted and finished and we submitted it, but that experience that I gained has really helped me in my role, because and I think it will help anyone in any role, irrespective of where they're working, what they're doing. And I think my fellow alums who are working in the education sector, in schools, will also be able to add more insight into this.
So Maaz, we'll take this question directly to you. What was your experience like?
Absolutely. Well, to be very fair, I think Ayesha has covered many of the things I might have said as well. But I'd like to focus on just one particular thing. And I think self-reflection, ability to make one think, look at oneself and then better oneself, I think that's something that's one of the best gifts education can give to someone. And I talked about self-reflection earlier as well. I think this is where practicum really helped me. I'll give an example. The school that we work with, the context of the school is quite similar to my own school. It's a low-cost school, and the sort of challenges that it faced, for instance, high teacher turnover, teachers, coming out and coming in all the time, and training them, finding ways to really efficiently train them well, and student engagement as well. These two challenges as well that we focused on in our practicum project. They're also really significant challenges that we face at our own school. So given the incredible thoroughness of our research, the thoroughness of the literature review that we did, of how we interacted with all the stakeholders, I think it added a new dimension in myself to look at things in my own school in ways that I might not have done before. Because I think with the literature review that we did, the different schools of thought that we studied, the different contexts that we studied, the very, very, very long and again, comprehensive interviews and discussions and information exchange, all those things that we did with our partners. I think it helped me. It sort of taught me how to better analyze my own setup better, and how I can do my own job better, how I can see the management of my own school from by stepping sort of outside my role and seeing it from, as they say, a neutral eye. And so I think this is one particular thing that I think the practicum project really gifted me with.
Thank you, Maaz. Roma, you already mentioned all these things. So how did the practicum directly help you? What kinds of experiences from the practicum helped your professional growth?
Ms. Sannia, the word that I'd like to use over here is immensely, because the practicum was where theory met the reality. It forced me to confront the gap between the ideal policy design and on-ground implementation. So I would say that I learned how constraints like time, capacity, resistance to change, institutional culture shape the outcomes. And more importantly, it taught me how to listen, how to co-construct solutions with these stakeholders, and how to design interventions that are context sensitive rather than idealistic. My practicum was on a classroom observation tool, and it was the implementation and influence of the classroom observation tool in primary school classrooms in Punjab. And I got to work, I was fortunate enough to work with two most respectable instructors for my practicum. And on-ground realities, working with, going to those far-fetched areas, as I mentioned, in different tehsils and in different areas of Lahore, interviewing them and getting to know what the how does it work in those schools, and then how are they directly controlled by our central education system, and how much are they different from what is actually happening in the classrooms and what is on the documents. So I mean, that had got a lot to do with how we perceive things. So it was research intensive, and it was, it opened the doors to a lot of factors, like we think that the schools, if you want to work on the education sector in Punjab, or for that matter in wherever in Pakistan, you have to see what are the ground realities. This is something, especially related to practicum made, though, it was like an eye opener. It gave us strict reality checks, and then getting all of them on one paradigm, and then getting the results out of them was something that really was not only, I would say, advantageous and beneficial, but also it was a part of the DARE RC program. So we were a part of a huge research paper that is still in progress. I think it's going to be complete in some months.
Thank you, Roma. So talking about skills, all three of you mentioned empathy in some way or the other. I'm not too sure if empathy is a skill, but I would like to say that anything that you can practice and develop further is a skill. So yes, you can practice empathy and you can get better at it. So I'd like to, label it as a skill. So apart from that, which other skills did this program help you develop that were beneficial for you professionally? So could be communication, leadership, management, whatever you'd like to mention. So Maaz, let's start with you.
Absolutely. I'd actually like to add a bit to my part to your last question, actually. And we were talking a bit about the practicum as well. And I guess it might sort of link up with this question as well. We had a certain target that we had to achieve, certain deadlines as well that we had to meet. But in all of this, I might say it's while doing the practicum, the ethics of conducting everything, of doing everything, the respecting others' privacy, I guess, respecting the integrity of data as well. The whole ERB process. These are all things that were totally new to me, and I think here I'd like to add our practical instructor as well, the supervisor, Dr. Razia Sadiq as well. In everything, she put integrity and honesty first, many times above just getting the job done as well. And that was sort of something that was really inspiring, and really inspiring in a way that to a considerable extent shapes the way I do things and sort of motivates me to be to pursue these values more as I do anything that I do. Now, coming to this question, when you talk about skills, I think first of all, I'd speak of research. I mean, the rigors of research, the sheer rigors of research. These were all things new to me. The how I mean, the whole world of research. I mean, how you have to. Um, there is absolute no limit to your learning. That there's a huge sea of an ocean of knowledge out there, an ocean of research out there that you can learn from. So I think understanding and getting a good grip on the rigors of research, that's one major thing, and I think that's one of the best things that I learned from this degree. um, Now, coming forward, I'd also definitely say it has 100% made me a much better manager as well. As I said, I think one thing it has really made a difference is my own management of my own staff. um, Understanding them, the importance of listening to them, importance of, again, stakeholder feedback as well. These are all things that I think make me a much better manager as well at my school. So I think I can list down many things, but these two things, I think they really stand out for me, and I'm grateful that I picked them up here.
Thank you, Maaz. And it's wonderful that you've mentioned the aspect of ethical considerations that was
Yeah,
strengthened and acknowledged and recognized. So that's
yeah.
wonderful. Ayesha, what would you say about the skills that you have developed?
Sure. Well, just like Maaz said, I think research was definitely a skill that, I mean, I had zero, I had read research papers because of my job, but I had really had no clue about how to conduct research, how to do research, and I think that the research methods course and instructor at School of Education are fantastic, and they really sort of know how to teach you how to do research and also instill a passion in you for research. So definitely that is something, a skill that I continue to use. Even now. And of course, like Ma said again, it made him a better manager. I think that going back to school after so many years, like I said, it's your it rewires your thinking. multitasking, time management, stakeholder management, leadership, all of these are skills. It is a leadership degree, education, leadership, and management. And all of these things are very crucial to how we work. And they're very important to have, and they really sort of, bring it back. And I don't know how many people over here who are present are non-traditional students. By non-traditional, I'm trying to stay away from the word older students, but that is what I mean. Who are thinking of coming back to education after a big gap, like I was. I mean, I was more than 15 years ago when I did my master's. It will really, really energize you. It will change the way you think. It will cognitively change you as well. And I think that's what happened with me. And I find that I came back after, and it not just I came back, it started happening because it's a weekend program, while I was studying. I just became very, energized about learning new things and immediately applying them. So I think that's a skill that I got, and I still have it. And anyone who does the program will have it.
Thank you, Ayesha. Roma, I'm going to narrow the question down for you to answer, picking up on something that you said earlier. So you said that your administrator kind of emphasized that you need to be a classroom practitioner, a teacher, to understand the role of the administrator. So how did this program help you understand and interpret the advice given to you by your administrator?
So, Ms. Sannia, like I said, when you have to be in the classroom, and then you have to be omnipresent everywhere, not just the classroom, it's like a 360-degree angle that you're working at. So this program was basically, it aimed at refining my leadership skills more than I would say as compared to the classroom instruction or pedagogy. But yes, there were some courses that really helped me understand the basics of applying different pedagogies at hand, how to inform the instruction, how to work through different approaches like a pendulum approach. How is the feedback, or how are the outcomes of the children that you are teaching going to inform the planning that you will need to do for the rest of the term or for the rest of the year. So while you were asking questions related to the different skills that all of us have gained, I would like to mention the Stata skill that we all got from our course Data Lab. I think that was also a skill because I remember while we were working with different cities in different provinces, and there was a huge amount of data that we had to work on. So that is where this particular course intervened, and it came at handy because we could work with gazillions of data sets in fractions of seconds. So I think that really helped. And apart from whether you are in the classroom, a teacher, or an administrator, working with people, this particular degree, this particular program, working with people that you might not have worked with before, maybe you are not that comfortable with working with. This program has developed that skill in me, that all the people in the world are not same, and you have to make use of the strengths of different people, and you have to work as a team. Of course, this particular skill, apart from the research and the self-management skills, I would say getting out of your comfort zone. I remember we once had the opportunity to go to KPK, one of the, this middle class schools in Shangla, Bisham. And we were with our project lead, Okasha Khan, and we had to go there, and we had to find out and identify gaps for school improvement. We had to give workshops. It was a 3-day workshop session with those teachers, and working working in that environment where you might not be very comfortable, it's a different culture. It's a different zone out there. So working and giving workshops or maybe training the teachers over there was an experience in itself. I would say that this program has worked for me 360-degree. I wouldn't I would like to mention the courses like data analysis and impact evaluation. कौन सी चीज किस वक्त किस effect के साथ काम करेगी in what part of your school, or for that matter in the development sector, that really taught us how to navigate the complexities of
Thank you, Roma.
my
Thank you very much.
organization.
So because we've had a good session and we are a little tight on time, I'm going to ask all three of you, whoever would like to answer where do you see yourself 5 years from now, professionally? No?
Well, I've got, and I can begin with that. When I started the program, I was working as a principal. Now that I've graduated, I'm working as a principal at the same school. I think you talk about 5 years, I'm going to say 20 years or 30 years. I see myself working as a principal at the same school. But at the same time, the idea is I want to keep pushing myself to do better, to keep coming up with new ways that I can teach my students better, and to find very effective and efficient ways, because again, we're a low-cost school, but we're competing with schools that have got much better resources than us. So a lot of what we do sort of focuses on unleashing that inner brilliance within a kid, right? And the MPhil journey has been a great springboard in that direction. If you might allow me, I might like to add a little thing here as well. As Roma was mentioning some particular subjects that she studied, restudied, obviously. I'd like to mention one particular course here, art and education and art-based research. These are two courses that I took. They were both taught by Dr. Razia again. And they're really different. They're really new. They're really new ideas. I don't think any other place offers such courses. And blending art with education and art with research, these were totally new things to me. The sort of ideas on holistic education that we learned here. We learned about we learned about Rabindranath Tagore's school that he established, Shanti Niketan, how giving voice to students, how sometimes what one key thing that I learned from that course, how sometimes
Maaz,
for a teacher to be in the background.
So this learning, where will that take you in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself?
So basically, it makes me a better teacher. It makes me a better principal, and it makes my school keep competing at the level it has been for a long time. And it keeps giving us an opportunity to give those people who cannot afford great education to have absolutely brilliant lives and brilliant careers.
Ayesha, what about you?
Yeah. So in the next 5 years, I see my role, so I'm working at the business school at LUMS, so I see my role expanding and perhaps taking on more responsibilities in terms of academics. In terms of reviewing, getting into the academics departments, in terms of, preparation of courses, looking at the school's programs, bringing in an education perspective into how the programs are managed, how they are designed, how they are run, and its impact on the students, and also continuing and expanding my role in teaching at the School of Education.
Thank you.
Which I do. Yes.
Roma, what about you?
Ms. Sannia, so I would like to say here that in the next maybe a few years, I see myself pursuing a PhD program. I do have, I've given myself some deadlines, if possible, inshallah. Also, maybe working for the research sector, because during our tenure at MPhil Education Leadership Program at LUMS, we did have an opportunity to interact with some good research organizations like World Bank. And I do have some offers from there as well. And of course, making myself transitioning to the from the private sector to the government sector, maybe working for the ministry. So hopefully, inshallah, let's see. But these are the ambitions.
Thank you.
And
That's wonderful. And PhD is something that many of our students have taken up, and some of them probably have even completed. So that's a great track that, and all three of you have gone in multidimensional directions, and it's wonderful to hear that. So your final word or a piece of advice to we've got some participants who are currently enrolled in the program and probably struggling and feeling a bit challenged. So what kind of advice would you give them? So to wind it up quickly, Roma, as
sure. I think, Ms. Sannia, an advice from my side would be not to give up, not to give up so easily, and continuous improvement. I think if us working as working individuals, working in different organizations, and studying as well, and navigating through the different complexities of life, I think for everyone over here, I would say not to give up and strive for excellence even in the most difficult of circumstances, and you will be able to go through it. So just believe in yourself, be confident, do not give up so easily, just be resilient, and strive for excellence.
Thank you. Ayesha?
Yes, so I'll give some advice to if there are any students here. Firstly, please reach out to your instructors. So go to office hours. If you're having any issues, you need to tell them. They're there, right? Secondly, also reach out and ask them if they're looking for help in research. There's a lot of opportunity. You're in the LUMS ecosystem. Make use of that. I did a student internship during my during the last semester of my program, and that's where all that I had learned, I applied it with one of my instructors, and that went a long way in later on, moving me to the adjunct faculty role, the experience I got. So number one, do reach out to your instructors, see whatever opportunities you can, use within the LUMS ecosystem. And third, reach out to your peers, your alums. Now, the alums play one of the great things about LUMS is the network, the alumni network. Alumni are more than happy to connect with you, to help you, to guide you. All it takes is a message on LinkedIn. By far, it always works. So connect to them and get and they will help you in terms of giving you direction. So I hope this helps.
Thank you, Ayesha. Maaz?
I think building on what Ayesha just said, don't have any regrets. It's a program where you will be where you can have fantastic support. Everyone is very supportive and everyone is very helpful. To reach out, don't have any regrets, and make the most out of this program. It can be a fantastic springboard for anything that you want to do further in life.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to open the floor for questions. If any one of you has any questions for our alumni, please feel free to ask them directly or post them in the chat box. Do we have any questions? All right, so I think we don't have any questions. Thank you very much for being a part of this and taking time out for this wonderful session. You guys really helped us understand yet again what the ELM program has been all about and how it has helped your professional practice, and how, inshallah, it's going to be easy to for others also to get on board and work. We've got a question from Sanna. She says, is it easy to manage the practicum with a job? So any one of you who would like to answer?
I can begin. I think, again, it's about talking and sharing what challenges you're facing with your practicum supervisor and with your group mates as well. I think you can really, really be surprised to the extent that your own group members are willing to help you, are willing to help you with anything that you're facing, with any restrictions that you might be facing with the job that you have. So I'd say just, do reach out. Obviously, there will be some challenges. Obviously, you have to make sure that along with your job, you have to do your practicum work, but do reach out, do talk to your supervisor and your peers as well. You'll be surprised to the extent they'll help you.
And you just need to let them know, any one of you, that it is doable, it is manageable. It's just
Yes,
that
definitely. Ms. Sannia, I'd like to mention two things over here. It is definitely possible to manage your job with the practicum. Why? Because, see, a lot of professionals are sailing in the same boat. So sometimes, yes, there are a lot of difficulties, but of course, when you're a team, you have to make use of your strengths and you have to, share with each other. I mean, now, what I have heard is कि आप लोग अपना group खुद select कर सकते हैं. When we were we were going through this, we did not have that option, and our groups were made by the administration, which we were lucky enough to. I mean, I would talk about myself over here. My team, the ones that I work with, we were, this was a good bunch of students and colleagues and our batchmates, I would say. We would utilize any time that was feasible for any one of us. The key is to cooperate and having that particular mindset that of course jobs are going to go on, but self-development and self-improvement are something that you should be working on. This is for yourself. Of course, your job matters, but then, of course, some part of your time has to be devoted to self-development and self-improvement. So I think this practicum gives you exactly that. So make use of it and share with your whatever team you have, whatever group you get assigned to, or you select yourself. I think you should, be what would I say, close enough to, utilize how to juggle between the different deadlines that you get. So I would say that yes, just focus on your goal and don't give up, and you will sail through.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank the alumni for being a part of this and all the other participants for being here at this hour. And thank you very much. I hope all of you have great professional lives and have a great day, whatever is left of it. Goodbye.
Thank
All of
you.
you.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.